Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Emerge 5. In this week's episode, we're looking at the University of Southampton's Future World programme, which showcased some of the most exciting tech startups at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. Also, make sure you stick around for our #1 spot for a very special interview. And of course, if you enjoy these videos, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for our latest content. Kicking us off at number 5, we have Sentient Sports. Sentient Sports creates algorithms based on statistics collected about team chemistry, fantasy sports games, and betting to predict how well a player will perform in a new team and how well they'll fit in with their teammates. This impressive AI tool isn't only improving the atmosphere of sports teams, it's also bringing in results. At number 4, we have Acor Technologies. Now, Acor Technologies might just be the next best thing in quantum engineering. In the last 5 years, we have seen $150 million raised in Europe towards quantum technologies. However, most of this money was directed towards software. The problem is that most companies are using a cold atom system that is power hungry and expensive to run. Acor Technologies' miniaturized cold atom system could dramatically cut company expenditure and open up new possibilities in the world's biggest markets. At number 3, we have Emotewise. Using automation to reduce our carbon footprint might just be the next big breakthrough in tackling climate change thanks to Emotewise. By using machine learning to automatically process and analyze your data, Emotewise is able to save you time and resources, allowing you to focus on reducing your carbon emissions. It also automatically generates reports helping you to comply with auditing and disclosure systems. Not only is Emotewise good for the Earth, but it allows you to reap the business benefits of sustainability leadership. Number 2, Absola. The environmentally conscious people at Absola have found a way to halve electricity bills in modern society. How? Well, using advanced data analytics and machine learning, Absola creates 3D models of entire cities to accurately simulate solar radiation on building surfaces. Taking into account how much shadow each spot is covered by at each time of year, Absola shows you the best places to deploy solar panels. So it's good for the Earth and it's good for your business. In our number 1 slot this week, we have ARCAI. Archaeology assessments, despite being vital to reducing costs in the construction market, often take 6 to 12 months to complete. ARCAI trains their artificial intelligence to automatically detect archaeological sites, thus dramatically reducing assessment time. The high accuracy of ARCAI's assessments also decreases the risk of destroying potential historical sites and saves money. And joining me now, I've got Iris Kramer, who is the founder and creator of ARCAI. So, Iris, welcome to the show, and thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. Hello.
You're very welcome. So, as I was talking there about ARCAI, great concept, but I think it's best coming from you. Could you walk us through the concept a little bit more in detail and what changes you're hoping it's going to bring?
Yes, so the technology that I'm using, I developed during my PhD, and it's to automatically detect archaeology on Earth observation data, which is like satellite imagery or LiDAR data. Today, you can already look for archaeology on satellite imagery manually, but what we're doing is automating the process. Why we want to do that is because we can save more archaeology, but also because we can, before any construction takes place anywhere in the UK and in most of the world, we actually have to do an environmental impact assessment. Mm-hmm. And archaeology is part of that. And at the moment, it can take a long time to get an environmental impact assessment and even just to get an insight of what archaeology might be there. And so with AI, we can detect the archaeology quicker. And so that really speeds things up for the construction industry so they can build faster and it's accurate as well. So then it's good for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's a brilliant concept in the sense of, you know, long-time viewers of our show will know how much we cover AI from the standard perspective, but it's great to kind of see it being used in different ways. How kind of common is this idea to use it in construction, or is this kind of, because I know it's been emerging slightly over the past couple of years, but is this kind of a new step forward for it?
Yeah. So there are other parts of the environmental impact assessment where in construction they're using AI. For example, to detect trees, maybe on a big infrastructure project, they want to know how many trees they have to cut down so they can have an understanding of that and biodiversity. So they're using the AI in that kind of context, and some in construction, other parts of the construction industry as well. It's kind of a very old field, so it's obviously more difficult to bring any new technology to it, because we understand how we have to do this and we don't want to bring too many new technologies in, and the introduction of technology happens rather slowly. So there is definitely interest for it, for using more AI, but the introduction just goes slowly.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully we'll get people who are willing to embrace the change, shall we say, and bring some AI into it. It'll make life a lot easier. I also mentioned at the top of the show, obviously, CES 2021. Unfortunately, having to be done at home, but still an exciting event nonetheless. How does it feel for you to be a part of that?
Oh, it's really great. Yeah, I'm very excited to have been given this opportunity to present there. And yeah, the online platform, it's obviously a very much different than standing at a real booth and speaking to people, but it gives you the opportunity to speak to much more people than you would otherwise be able to. So in that regard, it's great. You can very much pick and choose who you speak with. So yeah, it's an exciting opportunity. Obviously, CES is huge. It has all the best technologies introduced there. So yeah, it's very exciting to be part of it.
Yeah, it's a great platform, as you say, to kind of meet people, get the idea out there, and help them to understand it. So it's a really great event that you guys are a part of. So my final kind of question here is, obviously, everything's going well. Released this as a startup from your studies. So in terms of goals for you next, what do you want to be achieving with ARCAI?
Yeah. So I have to further develop the product, and then hopefully create a web application so that we can really put AI into the hands of the construction industry. And then as we start scaling, so we go from the UK and then to Europe and then beyond, because that's the power of AI, and that's how I hope that we within a few years will be very international, big company.
Exactly. It has the potential to be worldwide, and it's a great thing that you've kind of brought about. So Iris, I can only wish you the best of luck. I'm sure it's going to be a huge success, and thank you for coming on today's episode.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on this week's Emerge 5. Thank you to all the companies that we featured, and Iris for coming on to that interview. There are a lot of companies in there with a very bright future, so we can only wish them the best of luck with their success. We'll, of course, be back next week with another episode in our Emerge 5 series. In the meantime, join the conversation at EM360 on Twitter and LinkedIn. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and for more great daily content, head on over to em360tech.com.